Good afternoon and welcome, guys. And I do apologise that I wasn't here last week. First of all, I just want to say that I planned to do a live session, but I was out and then with a friend, and I came back and I actually started producing and completely forgot to actually do the live session. Secondly, this week I wasn't actually going to do a live session because I'm in a lot of pain. 3 days ago, I injured my back and I've not been able to walk without a walking stick. And literally I can't twist, I can't bend, I can't turn without excruciating pain right down the left side of the hip. So if I do squeal throughout this video from a bit of movement, that's the reason why I'm a bit restricted. It is easing off, I am getting better, so but yeah, anyway guys, I was hoping to have my new t-shirts and hoodies and beanie hats here for today, but unfortunately they haven't come yet. They're still halfway through being sort of manufactured, so hopefully for the next session next week I will have those items to show you. But without further ado, I'm going to do a live session today on just using reverbs and delays a lot more creatively. After listening to some music inside Decentraland, one of the sort of games I play on the metaverse, just collect NFTs and stuff really. They play music on there, and they built Amnesia, Cream Amnesia actually, entire area inside there, which showcases the nightclub. But while I'm digressing, some of the tracks were very minimal, and he just gave me, I was listening to it and it just sort of gave me an idea to sort of go back and try and start creating tracks again, with just simple elements like a piano, just one note of a piano, a couple of notes of a piano, using the delays creatively to add body to the track, but also create space as well at the same time, so without complicating a riff and having too much going on. You can actually make it more complex with the use of the reverb or the delay. Now, this includes not just one reverb and one delay. There's multiple use of multiple send tracks. And if I switch over now my view, I will show you. Let me just get OBS up, and I will switch over the views. So you've got a bigger screen, and just to introduce what we're doing today, so it's creative use of reverb and delay and reverb, and that's spelt reverb with a double R-E there. Done that very quickly just, so I do apologise, but there. Using delay and reverb, or introduction to what we're going to do, which is what I've just done. Using delay and sidechain, using reverb and sidechain, for better transitions basically, and that should be number 5. Again, I've just put together this document very quickly. It is rushed because, as I say, I've not been able to do anything for the last 3 days. I've literally been lying flat and upright, strapped to a TENS machine for 6 hours a day. So unfortunately my physio is not available, and he's undone all the good hard work I've had done the last 2 months, because I do suffer for a bad back for the last 22 years, and it's not the best. I do have problems with it, but it's neither here nor there. But I've had 2 months of private physio, and it was starting to feel great again, and all of a sudden now I've just put myself out by lifting 4 bags of sand and doing some concreting in our garden. So silly me. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So putting it all together in a track creation, better transitions using your reverb and a delay with sidechains. So if I look at this, and what I've got here is a couple of different elements going on. I've got just a couple of riffs. If we load this up here, I've got piano, and it's just a couple of notes built on the basis of the chord, and I'm using the space with delay or reverb and sidechains. But it's not just sidechain from a kick drum, it's actually sidechain from the notes that it's playing from. So there's 2 ways you could do this. You could actually put another reverb on the end of the channel and sidechain the reverb through with a sidechain inside the reverb, or sidechain compressor on top of it, but it doesn't give such a good effect as using the sends. So if you look to the right here, I've got 4 sends set up so far, and it depends how you want to use these creatively. Because if you want to use, because for example, if I'm using like a full riff, which I've got here, I've got the full riff, and every time these notes play, they're going to be ducking the delay or the reverb down. So if these are on the piano, it wouldn't sound right. So I've had to create a separate set of sends for using on the piano and separately to what I'm using on this lead sound here. Now the rest is just effects. There is a drum sound I've got here, which I'm using and automating sometimes the reverb on it, and the reverb actually creates like a nice rising whoosh sound, and it's just adding extra background textures to the actual loop, which you'll see what I mean when I play them individually. So just to go through the setups first, I've got the main hall on this one with the decay time cranked up and the size quite high quality reverb. I've turned off the low cuts and the high cuts. Nothing's changed here, just apart from 100% wet. And then I've got a side chain, and that is being synced from one of the which one is it here, number 10, so track 10. So it's been synced or side chained from this particular track. So anything that plays on this track, this MIDI, will sidechain and duck that particular reverb. And also the same setup on the delays. So I've got 2 delays and 2 halls. So I've got a delay here, and the same again, delay with the sidechain, and you can see it's set up on number 10. So that controls this effect here, and you can see they've been sent on A and C. And then I've got a hall and a delay, and these are both sidechain from the grand piano. Now I went through lots of different stages on putting this together. I went through putting some vocals in with effects and trying things, and I went in with a riff. I went tried some drum sounds with the delays and reverbs, and it is experimentation. And what I started off with ended up being completely different. So bear that in mind, that use the delays and reverbs creatively to actually guide the track forward or come up with some kind of idea. There's no structure going on really at all. It's just literally, it's just a few loops. So I'll play it through. I'm just going to play the main riff. Okay guys, so you can see what I've got going on there. As I say, it's just so it's quite easy. It's not going to be a long session today, again, as I said, because I am in quite a bit of pain. I don't want to sort of limit myself and be sat here too much, because it's caused me, as I say, to stand up. I can't hold myself up very long. But it's not a very long video, as I say. I just wanted to sort of show you this and the creativeness and how I set these up. So, as I say, you can see that this sound here that I've got going on, this is how I originally started, and I just literally started off with these 1 or 2 notes. I thought this was the piano, but it wasn't. I forgot that I'd taken this riff and then I just literally stripped it back so that it was minimal notes for the piano to allow the space for the delay or the reverb that I'm using there. So you can see I've got different delays, different reverbs, and if we look at them, let's have a look at some of the effects. Is there anything going on these? No, there's nothing being pushed in terms of reverb. Sorry, EQ. The only thing I've done is just have boosted the piano here to give a little bit more of sonic boost, and you can hear those pianos because it was very quiet in the mix. I'll just play that with and without. Okay, so you can, it's up to you what kind of effect you want. You can see that either the delay set might sound nice in a breakdown, while the whole track's playing in full. So in a track context, when the whole of that riff is playing full in the mix, you might want the reverb to come in. So, the choice is yours really. What I'm trying to sort of show you is to just get use of creative delay. It's so simple. It's just a case of, as I say, putting a reverb on. I've turned off everything that's controlling this. I want as much as I can. A little bit of diffusion bumped up, not really anything much. You can just bump up a little bit more of diffusion and reflection. I know I haven't really covered diffusion and reflection, and I plan to eventually do something about acoustics and actually understand, so you understand early reflections and understanding flutter echoes and things like that. So that's all part of your room acoustics. And diffusion and reflection, they have all those kind of things, so you can control how much diffusion, how much the sound actually sort of diffuses away very quickly or just hangs around. But if you understand acoustics and psychoacoustics, you will understand that a lot more. It's been a long time since I studied acoustics, but I hope to one day sort of, I'm trying to set up an acoustics course for the academy, and that's going to be one of the next things I'm going to be developing in the courses, as well as all the other stuff I'm trying to do as well at the same time. Anyway, so as I say, the sidechain's on, and you just literally sidechaining from the synth. So if I were to go in and just rename this, so you can see, I'm just going to put lead riff, and then if you go back into the sidechain, you will see that my lead riff on here, that has changed now to lead riff. Okay, and that's where I'm sidechaining. So what you're technically doing, you're using the MIDI of that track just to literally duck the reverb or the delay. And by doing that, it's just literally, it's acting the same as a sidechain. It's pushing the notes out of the way. It's pushing the delays or the reverbs out of the way. Then when there's no notation playing, it's bringing that reverb back into the mix or the delay back into the mix to create extra texture, to fill out the empty space. Hey presto, you've got a track starting to build with ideas before you even know it. You will finish a track. It is, I do find this kind of technique a lot better for minimal tracks. You know, if you don't want much going on, you just want to sort of carry a kick drum and a beat like I'm doing here. Slowed the tempo to 122 BPM. I've done this. So that's another thing. If you are playing with delays, make sure that your delays are either in sync or you're using the correct millisecond timing for those delays. As it happens, I've got on these delays here, I'm using just the standard Ableton live delay with a feedback quite high. I want that delay to carry through. Now again, you can start to use these delays more creatively on sounds and bring the feedback up as well as the send at the same time. And that's another thing I wanted to show you. So if you want that feedback to really build up and that delay to carry on like an explosion type sound or etc, something like that, what you would do is actually put the feedback and the send to automate exactly at the same time. So we could do this, for example, let's have a look. So maybe I want the delay and the reverb to all come up at the same time. So I'm going to assign one parameter. I'm going to assign this to my MIDI controller here. I'm going to assign the same one to the same controller. I'm going to come away. I'm then going to come to my major synth delay, and I want my feedback, and then the feedback needs to have settings set up, so I want the feedback assigned to here at first. But what's going to happen is obviously when I reset everything back down to 0, that is going to move. So ideally I want my delay to start around about the 50% mark and then go up to its maximum, really. Okay, the same for the reverb. On this one I'm using, it's the lead riff, it's this reverb here. So I could push the delay time up a little bit more, but in essence it's up pretty high as it is, so I'm just going to knock it up. I mean, I could automate this to come up even more if I wanted to, but I'm just going to knock it up a little bit more so there's a little bit more decay time on the reverb. And let's see how this plays out. Now hopefully this should automate all at the same time. I'm just going to check everything. So that's automating. Yeah, they're all automating. So you can see here, that's automating all at the same time. But you can see it starts here and finishes up here. So I've got control. But ideally, you can see what's happening there. So my feedback comes up more. So you may want to sort of also introduce these and start these a little bit higher. So they start at about maybe, say, minus 15, 6, something like that, minus 15 decibels. And this is purely so we've got a range control. Okay, let's have a look at that. And when we sweep, yeah, you can see, look, they're already set in, but they're not too much in the mix. And then we can max them out and we can max the feedback out. Okay, so let's see what that sounds like now. Okay, guys, so that's the effect I was trying to create. It was something that deadmau5 started to use quite a lot of in his tracks as he's building up his riffs and stuff. And just as they get to the breakdowns, you just literally automate everything up fully right on the last beat. You don't want it fully in the mix as all of it's playing because it's too much. You could hear that when I was turning up to full, it was too much. And that's why I've set my ranges so that it's already set at a certain range. It's affecting the mix, but not too much. And the same here. I've started off my 67% and I'm pushing back up. So that's where I want my feedback, because that's the amount of feedback I need, to just enough to play through from when there's no notation playing. So I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm not going to say smash the like button, just caress the like button for me, please. And maybe share the video content and consider subscribing when you... it does help. Anyway, guys, so as I say, it's pretty much a short video. I haven't been sort of putting much content together. I've just been so much going on in the academy, designing all of the merchandise range, or the first batch of merchandise range I've been doing. And then this accident has literally knocked me off my feet for 3 days. So that's me pretty much done today. As I say, if you do have any questions, please just leave the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So without further ado, I'll see you hopefully next week with some new content. I am trying to sort of piece some things together. I've got some ideas, but it's literally just sort of resources, putting it all together and trying to make it more enjoyable for you, really. I'm trying to keep them short and sharp rather than sort of 1 hour long winded videos. So without that, I'm going to say goodbye. Take care.